I'm Congressman Dave Brat, 7th District of Virginia, born in Detroit. Dad was a doctor there at the hospital where I was born. Mom was a nurse. They moved us to a small town in Michigan, Elma, 10,000 people through 8th grade. Moved us at 9th grade, thanks Dad, to Minneapolis, Minnesota. Loved it, but huge adjustment, probably good for your personal growth. Then went back to Holland, Michigan for college, Hope College, much Flying Dutchman, Holland, Michigan, right on Lake Michigan, north of Chicago. Studied business, minored in religion, great mentor profs, world religions, philosophy, a preacher there that was influential on me. And then went to work for Arthur Andersen in Detroit. They shipped me to Chicago. So a couple years doing that. And then while I was there, I did feel the call and went off to Princeton Seminary. And so you should have seen the jaws at Arthur Andersen. So while I was at Princeton Seminary, I was going to teach systematic theology, ethics, and great theologians through history, etc. And systematic theology at the time incorporated economics, right? If you want to be systematic about what runs this world, economics and ethics should go together. They don't anymore, unfortunately. And so while I was at Princeton Seminary, I went down to Wesley Seminary for a semester on politics, met a preacher to Bill Clinton. That's my bipartisan moment. And he wrote a book on economics and ethics back then, and it wasn't a punchline. And so he's the preacher to the president, pretty big deal. And then they said, hey, Dave, if you're interested in this, you ought to go do a Ph.D. in economics. So I went to American University, did a Ph.D. there, worked for the Army a couple of years, worked for the World Bank in the poverty section a few years. Most importantly, met my wife in D.C., interviewed for jobs, and was lucky enough to make it to Randolph-Macon, taught there for 20 years, ran the chairman of the Economics and Business Department, ran the ethics minor program, so kept those two together for 25 years. Still doing it, trying to do it up in D.C. It's a rough crowd, but that's it. And we can get into the politics, how I got into that later.